is jump on VMware.com to download the VM player because VM player is a free software. And there's a code also VMware Pro, which is a paid software. It's quite expensive. I wouldn't really recommend buying it unless you can get if you're like a university or college or any academic, and your major is computing science or cybersecurity or networking, anything like that, you can probably get a license for free from your academic educational center, whatever you want to call it. So the first thing you want to do is head to the VMware.com. That's the website. Make sure it's the right link so you don't download some sketchy software because you can get a virus. Remember to have a antivirus turned on to make sure you're safe from any dangers. So as soon as you're on the website, you go to products, workstation player. That's to take you through how to install it, and then because it's quite basic, right? I'm not gonna show you. Now, you don't have any virtual machines on you like me. I do. It's just not. It's on a hard drive, so I don't have it with me. It shows you the file path as well if you like can't find it or something. You just need like E as the external hard drive. So you first of all need to do, unless you actually have a virtual machine on your hard drive or on your computer. Now there's some benefits of having, there's not really a benefit on having your hard drive like on your main computer. There's not really a benefit to that. However, there's a benefit of having on an external drive because then you can take your virtual machine, you can take it to school, plug it to your laptop, and wherever. Now, if you're going to plug it to your laptop, you need to understand how the virtual machines work. Because, for example, if you want to do launch Kali Linux, right, which is quite a big resource. The operating system itself, it took me about 40 minutes to install. It's about 40 gigs on an SSD drive as well. It wasn't a HDD, it was an SSD. It took me about 40 minutes to install. So you need to understand that the virtual machine shares your resources with your computer. That means if your computer is like, it has, like say, I don't know, 6 gigs of RAM, no, let's say 8 gigs of RAM, the virtual machine, you can obviously set it. I don't know if I can show you right now. I don't think I can. No, I can. I'll have to launch one. I'll launch one in a minute. It shares the resources. For example, you can manage how much virtual machine you want to, like, there's a limit you can set of processors. You can RAM, storage as well. But even that, it doesn't really. It's still, if you want to do Kali Linux on your laptop and your laptop's not that good, I wouldn't recommend it because you're not going to get much done. Even running a virtual machine, even not Kali Linux, just a normal like Windows 7 or like Windows 10, you have some performance problems. That's why I would suggest, like, if you're going to use virtual machines, I would probably suggest get a good hardware device because it'll be difficult for you to do anything if you're gonna run, especially if you want to run 2 virtual machines at the same time. You'll be basically running 3 computers at once. Alright, so I will take you how to install the virtual machine now, or how to create one. Now, to create a virtual machine, there's a couple files you need to have. So for example, to install Kali Linux, you need to a file .ico, or just any operating system, unless you have it like already pre-installed. It'll be like OVA file, I think. You need an ISO file. Now, ISO files is like it's like an operating system, but it's just virtual because it's an ISO, so it's a virtual. So either you can select one to install operating system. In my case, as you can see, there's a Windows 10 x64 detected. So either you can select, I'll install the operating system later. It's up to you. So I'll just do this for now. Next. Now, there's a couple of versions you can do. So for Microsoft Windows, you can select, there's a lot. So there's Windows 10, 8, 7, Vista, XP, 2000 server. There's 2022, 2019, 2016, 2012. That's Windows Server, Windows Server, Windows Server, Windows Server, and other stuff. Right now, you want to make sure that you select, because if, for example, you just scroll down and you just quickly install the wrong version. Plus, if you don't have the ICO, you're not gonna install the Pro operating system correctly. So just install what you want. In this case, I have an ICO for Windows 10, so I'm gonna press Windows 10. Microsoft Windows. There's Linux as well. That's yeah, that's for other stuff. Next. Now you need to set your name. You can set your name anything you like. I'll just do demo win10 for an example. Now you need to select your file path. So you just select your file path anywhere. Like this is my external hard drive. Special folder for virtual machines. Now you just select it there. Next. Now you need to set a disk size now. 60 to 40 should be enough. This is quite important. It says store virtual disk as a single file or into multiple files. Now, it's up to you. I like to have it as a one single file because it makes it less messy. So just single file and then finish, and that creates the file. Now, that just shows you what you've installing, well, creating. Sorry, not installing it. So it'll be a demo Windows 10 E Virtual Systems Workstation. That shows just a version of the VMware. What operating system, how much space, that's not important right now. Shows you how much CPU will use and your memory, which is your RAM. So just finish, and we should, yeah, there we go. There's a new operating system. Play virtual machines, which means you have access to it now. You can either start it straight away, or what you can do is edit. Well, it means it matters what you've done really. So if you've installed the operating system before at the start, you can install it straight away. But if you have not, then you need to edit virtual machine settings, and then there's some things you can play around. I would not really, if you have no idea what you're doing, I wouldn't really recommend playing around with this. Just a simple reason, because you don't know what you're doing. Now, so there's memory. You can set how much memory mass, how much memory you have. I have 16, but I would suggest maybe 4. 4 would be maximum. If you have, imagine how much you have, how much you want to use. I can't tell you how much because it's up to you. Always remember how RAM works. The more RAM you have, the more tasks you can have at the same time. So, for example, how many Google Chromes you can open at the same time. Remember to not put too much, because then your computer, your operating system, your host machine, which is the computer I'm operating on right now. So the host machine is this, my desktop. The guest machine is the virtual machine. So we have processors. You can select how much you want. That's your hard drive. You can once you've set it, you can't really change it back, because I'm pretty sure I tried it in the mark, or it might corrupt the virtual machine. You might want to be careful with that. Now this is a CD drive. My computer in this case, I do not have a CD drive. Most of the computers, at least the gaming ones, don't have CD drives. This is your network adapter. This is your connection. You might want to leave it to NAT. That's the safest option. USB controller, that doesn't really not important. Your sound card, your printer, not really important. Your options, so we have a general, you can change your name, you can change the operating system. Not really, it's up to you, not really important. Shortfall, now, this is one of the most important things. You need to be careful with this. If you manage it wrong, you're putting your host machine at risk. And you need to be careful with this, because just, access your files through the guest machine to the host machine, you're putting your machine at risk. That's why you want to make sure, if you're using this, you want to make sure that you're basically not allowing basically what happens is the host machine can only send to files, and the guest machine cannot send files to the host machine. You need to be careful of this. If you have you're not installing anything, you're just searching the web or just doing anything, you should be fine. But just be careful, because if you configure it wrong, you're putting your host machine at risk, and you don't want that because obviously, if you put your host machine, if you put a virus on your host machine, then that's you done. You can, I don't know, throw the keys outside your window. Access control, uh, just encryption. That's just a time unity. I don't know what this is. And the auto login. Auto login is, I do not have it turned on because if I was to lose my hard drive, people would be able to access my virtual machines, and I don't want that to do. Okay, so just cancel it. I've not done anything. Okay, so we're just gonna do right. So before we start this, there's also one more important thing. If you've not put a operating system into go into Edge of it, edit virtual machine settings. Sorry, you need to go to CD drive, and now there's an ISO image file. Now you need your ISO file. You go into wherever you have it. You just select it. Okay, you start it. Play virtual machine. It will start like a normal virtual machine. I can't see what it says there. Oh, let's just check. Should be able to install. I cannot see what it says here. Timer. Okay. I might have done something wrong. Let's restart. There we go. Sorry, I just had to press enter. I didn't see what it said there because I was outside the window. Now, if you break your virtual machine, it's okay because what you can do. Oh fuck. Okay. I've managed it wrong. Just custom install. Sorry. I've no, sorry, into do custom install. So now you can do partitions with basically splitting your hard drives into two. Example, if you want to do have like I don't know, you want to do have your DFE files. Sorry, your drives. You can set it whatever you want. I'm just gonna click next because I'm gonna delete this virtual machine in a minute because it takes quite a lot of space. But they're quite useful things. You can install viruses, you can test your files, you can write, malware on the virtual machine. Nothing's gonna happen to your host machine unless you configured it wrong. But pretty much you're able to, and you can test things. For example, if you wanna test, I don't know, whatever you wanna test, you can use the virtual machine because it's a quite handy thing. Now I'm just waiting for this to install. It will take a minute, it shouldn't take long. Now as you can see, it's just finishing up. I might reinstall a couple times, it's okay. Now, as you may see, the Windows, there's a black big box. Now, that means it's just the resolution's not set right. I cannot change it right now because it's installing, but as soon as it finishes, I'll show you how to change it. It's quite basic. It's not nothing difficult, right? It's just restarting. I'm asking probably for a couple things. The Windows 10 uses the your online account from Microsoft. I'll just skip that because I don't want to log in on a virtual machine just in case if it gets compromised. I don't want to, leave my data open to people. So it's just finishing. Shouldn't take long. Could just use that one. Right, so when you first start, it's a virtual machine. So basically uh, this is I think the online account. I don't know, I can't be bothered thinking about this now. So basically just do this local account, which means you don't need your online account, so just use your name. Let's do administrator. And password, I would just do password. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Please type a different username. Let's do admin. There we go. Admin worked. I don't know why. Oh, administrator, because there's already an administrator account. That's why it didn't work. No, now we don't need Cortana yet. So this is our new virtual machine. You go right click, personalize. Sorry, display settings. And now I don't know how your big screens are, but you shouldn't really do it too big. Sorry, is it this one? I don't think I am in the. Oh, sorry. So you go into display settings, advanced display settings, and now your resolution. So now My highest resolution is this, but I'm not gonna set it. I think the perfect is this. That'll do. However, we have a fresh virtual machine. You can do whatever you like. It's just a normal Windows 10. Like if you were to buy a new computer, it's like basically the same thing. Now, as I said before, your computer shares the resources with the host machine. The host machine is the computer that you install the virtual machine on, your actual physical machine, and the guest machine is the virtual machine.